Hi, and welcome back to Stories Across South America. I'm Clara, and today's episode is really a special one. Not only because we are talking about one of my favorite cities in South America, but because for the first time I'm recording in person with one of our incredible local hosts. I'm sitting down with Lilia here in beautiful Buenos Aires, a city we love deeply and have shared with our travelers for many years. In this conversation, we explore what makes Buenos Aires so unique, from its elegant French-inspired architecture to its passionate culture, late-night dinners, hidden corners full of art, and of course, the tango. But more than just facts or landmarks, Lilia brings the soul of the city to life. You will hear stories, local insights, and memories that show you what it feels like to truly experience Buenos Aires, not as a tourist, but as a guest, as a friend. So, wherever you are, I invite you to sit back, relax, and join us as we walk the streets, taste the flavors, and feel the rhythm of this unforgettable city. Let's get started. Lilia, bienvenida, or I have to say welcome back, right? Because you have been working with us for so many years and across South America, welcoming travelers from everywhere in the world. So I'm really excited to have you here. So thank you for being in this interview for Stories Across South America.
Thank you, Clara. Thank you. And hello, everyone at the podcast. Thanks again for having me.
I'm so excited to be talking with you about this city we love, about Buenos Aires, the city we live, right? And we have so many things to talk about Buenos Aires. So thank you. And also very excited to be face to face, right? Our first episode that we are having together in a place. So I'm happy also to have you doing this with you. Well, Lilia, let's start with the feeling. What's that single moment of a day in Buenos Aires you love the most?
I think I love mornings in Buenos Aires. Mornings in Buenos Aires city, the morning hours when everyone is arriving at work, when everyone is picking up their coffee, the perfume of coffee everywhere, the perfume of croissants. That beginning of the morning is for me one of the most beautiful moments in the city. Oh. I love it. And Buenos Aires is so full of very nice coffee shops, and I think it's my favorite moment of the day, yeah.
Okay, love that. That feeling you can't find in a travel guide, right?
No.
So the kind of things we like feeling in the city.
So. Yes, definitely, yes.
Yes, awesome. Many people call Buenos Aires the Paris of South America. It's about the elegance, the architecture. Why is that? What can you tell us about the history of Buenos Aires and the story?
Look, I would start by saying that at the end of the 1800s, Argentina was already so wealthy, so rich, that they could afford to bring architects from France. And that happened a lot at the end of the 1800s and the beginning of the 1900s. People always tended to follow fashions or trends. And at that moment, France was the trend. French architecture was the trend. French decoration was the trend. So what wealthy people from Buenos Aires did was call and hire architects from France to come to Argentina and do what? Imitate in the architecture of Buenos Aires, start building houses, mansions, buildings according to the French trend, according to the Belle Époque, according to all that classical architecture that France had in those times. And you know what? There was a mayor in Buenos Aires who was the first official mayor in the city. His name was Torquato del Villar. He had enough knowledge and enough world to be able to turn this city or this part of the city so close to downtown into this Paris of South America. He brought the right architects to Buenos Aires. He followed the right trends. He did the exact investments what the city needed to turn it into this beauty that we have.
Yes, it's so amazing. Like, it's surprisingly amazing, right? You are walking whenever in a street, and then you see an amazing building. It surprises us, right? It still surprises us when we are walking in Buenos Aires every day.
Yes. And you know that, all of that, it surprises you even more when you think, all of this was made, in the 1920s, in the 1910s, at the end of the 1800s, when there was no digital programs to decide that everything was handmade with a lot of effort and of course with a lot of investment, the right investments. And that's what makes our city so beautiful and special, as you just said.
Yeah, it's so elegant, right?
Yes.
Feeling of wow.
Yes.
I can't imagine how was Buenos Aires in that time. Yes, it must be amazing. It's like
it must have been amazing.
It has been amazing.
And you know what? I think we are South America. We are part of South America, and at the same time, we are so different. In each corner, you get surprised in downtown because you will find one of the jewels of Buenos Aires, one of the jewels of Argentinian architecture when we talk about that. And I love very much what people are doing. Maybe they are preserving a facade of an old house, and then inside, maybe they will turn it indoors into a coffee shop. But the old classical French facade, well, it's taken care of. It's a beauty. It's preserved.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what makes Buenos Aires its own? If someone is coming to Buenos Aires, they will find, yes, the Paris of South America, but what's that thing that this is? Well, no, but I am in Buenos Aires. What is that thing that they will find in Buenos Aires when they are walking in their streets and they say, no, but I'm not in Paris, I am in Buenos Aires?
Definitely it's going to be Argentinian culture, because even if we are a country of immigrants, at the same time, Argentinian culture is a real thing, because, and I know you know it, but we are a country of immigrants. We are a mixture between Italians, French, Ukrainians. It's a huge mixture of cultures. And even if the architecture will tell you, oh, this is so Madrid, this is so Barcelona, this is so Paris, at the same time you will have people, you will listen to tango, you will listen to people talking in a very passionate way, especially about some subjects, as you know, as soccer, as politics. We are passionate, we have the Italian passion, that's another part of our heritage. And it's tango, and it's, again, politics, soccer, and the hugs. We had a lot, we kiss out. You won't see that in France. You will not see that maybe in Spain. We're kind of different in that way. We are Latin, yes?
Yes, it's in every person who is walking in the street, you will see the porteños are very passionate.
They are. Yes. Even when they get angry.
Yes. Porteños are the, let's explain, because I don't know if everybody knows, but how we call the people in Buenos Aires are porteños, right?
Exactly. Porteños are the people that live nearby or were born around the port of Buenos Aires.
Yes. And Lilia, you have been guiding travelers from everywhere in the world for so many years. Well, when you have to say, well, this is a neighborhood I love in Buenos Aires, this is something, maybe it's not like the traditional neighborhood, or maybe yes, what would be that neighborhood that will say our travelers, you have to see this, you have to go, this is Argentina, this is Buenos Aires, or where would you suggest them to go?
I would say San Telmo is the one. San Telmo is the neighborhood that's special, that still keeps, that still preserves that old spirit of the old Buenos Aires, where you will find very nice boutique coffee shops inside old houses, where you will eat the best chorizos, where you will be able to find, older people, the elder from Buenos Aires, still doing what they were doing every day 50, 60 years ago, and at the same time, the new generations that are trying to, adapt to that kind of a neighborhood, because what, they still have those old cobblestone streets. The streets are narrow. You will have, it's a very picturesque neighborhood. So yes, I love it. It's very much, about immigration still today, about tango, about good food, homey food, and that's a nice thing. I love San Telmo because of that.
Okay, yes, it's a lovely neighborhood.
It is.
I think it's also one of my favorite places in Buenos Aires. Yes. And also from your experience of walking the streets of Buenos Aires with travelers from everywhere, and What do you think people get surprised and say, whoa, I didn't expect this from Buenos Aires? What makes them say, whoa, this is amazing? Because, sorry, we love Buenos Aires, we are from Buenos Aires, but this is really what happens. Not that we are saying this because we are in Buenos Aires, but this is what really happens, right? When people get surprised, they don't expect they will find. Why is that? What do you think surprises them?
First of all, let's say it again. People get very surprised about architecture. They don't expect to find something like that. I mean, buildings like that so well preserved at the end of South America, at the end of the world. Why not? They don't expect to find something like that. One more thing, they are always surprised about the green. There is a lot of green in Buenos Aires. You have a lot of gardens, parks, and even if the houses are one right next to the other, you have huge parks. You will not find here in downtown Buenos Aires houses with a huge garden around it. This is a comment I get a lot, you know? They say that the houses are, or the flats or the buildings are one right next to the other and you don't have green around it, as you might find in Europe or at the US. But the parks, they are surprised at how many parks and how many trees we have in the city.
Yes.
Palermo is something that always surprises people. The rose garden, the gated garden with the biggest number of roses in South America, that's something that surprises them a lot. And that's a place that everyone goes to and they all fall in love with it.
Yes, it's a lovely city and the parks are amazing here.
They are.
Well, actually now we are filming in Palermo. And well, it's one of also my favorite neighborhood. Well, I live in Palermo for many years. So yes, the parks are amazing. It's something that the combination of this Parisian or Madrid architecture and the buildings and everything is so amazing. Yes.
Yes.
I was saying we can't talk about Buenos Aires without talking about the food in Buenos Aires. I think it's something of that's something important here in the city, in Argentina in general. But well, we have many travelers who love to come to Buenos Aires because of the food they will find here. And what would you say is this special place in Buenos Aires that you like taking our travelers, or what you suggest?
You know, this is something that I think it's one of the best part of our tours. The time when we go to find what Argentinians eat, what they love, street food or sit in a good restaurant. Food is very good here. I would say that empanadas are so good. You can see it in any restaurant or at any corner in Buenos Aires, and you will for sure see someone eating empanadas and having a glass of something. If you're sitting in a restaurant, empanadas with wine will be heaven. I mean heaven. Because the way they are made, the way handmade, of course, the way they are prepared, it's such a pleasure to try them. And there are a couple of places where they serve them and they are spectacular. They will enjoy them a lot. Of course, Argentina is all about beef, all about steaks, all about wine, but a good empanada with a good Argentinian wine. Delicious, definitely, yes.
Also some of my favorite dishes here in Buenos Aires, together with the pizza. Because we have that Italian side.
Italian
also,
influence, right?
Well, the beef, of course.
Yeah.
We have so really amazing restaurants here where people get amazed at the size of the beef here. It's something
that's incredible.
Yes,
incredible.
Yes.
And the thing, when you are like, let's go try some good steak, and then you see the appetizers, and then comes the beef, we have to warn our people about that usually.
Yes. What do you think that the food scene here in Buenos Aires has evolved, and how we find it now? Like, it's not only about the fancy restaurants, right?
Yes.
What do you think? This has changed in the last years, or how it has evolved?
Look, you can find a lot of places where Argentinian food is featured in different ways, but very original. You could go to, as we mentioned, to an empanadas house and try empanadas and wine and other regional foods. with the original recipe, and at the same time you could go to a more specialized restaurant where you will find Argentinian original and regional food prepared in a slightly different way or in a smaller portions. Sometimes, we even have a restaurant here in Buenos Aires that will prepare food with you, Argentinian food with you. You will learn how to prepare empanadas. And at the same time, you could go to another restaurant that will give you a very small portion of Argentinian regional food, but in 7 different steps. You might think, oh, I will starve at this restaurant, but no, because everything is so very well prepared that you will try every kind of Argentinian dish, and it's so pleasurable. It's so full of pleasure and you will be so content with what you ate, you won't believe it.
Yes, I think you can stay a week in Buenos Aires and you have plenty of places to go. You don't have time enough to taste all the different type of restaurants, the different type of, from closed-door restaurants to bodegones to, I could say, pizzerias or...
Yeah, definitely, yes.
And every place you go, it's like, whoa, this is amazing, it's amazing.
You have a lot of experiences. At this time in Buenos Aires, we have, evolved into a city where maybe you're a foodie and you want to try something different, you will find it. And anyways, you will find the essence of Argentinian regional food at that restaurant, You will find, again, maybe locro, a meal based on corn in a very specialized restaurant, and you won't expect to find it there because it's a meal that you will find at homes only. Well, now it's making a comeback. Yeah. There is a lot of experience that you can enjoy in Buenos Aires when we talk about food.
Yes, I love that because I think food is part of the culture, right?
Definitely, yes.
And when you come to Buenos Aires showing these different dishes in a local way, it's something, we love doing with our travelers, and I think it's something you can find in many places, but with this local touch, right? Not like a touristic or a touristic place, like a set for tourists, right? It's where we go, right? The Porteños go there.
We also go there. And again, Argentinians are very much about meeting with friends, meeting with family, and it will all be around a table with food, with homey, good quality food. Yes. And that is a lot of that you will see at restaurants.
Yes, and together with this, like the city at night, right? This thing that Buenos Aires fans, that's a city that you can go to have dinner at 10 p.m. and that's something that is the restaurant is full, right? It's something part of our culture also.
Absolutely, yes.
I think it's something very different. Like people will see a city that is alive 24 hours a day.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That happens.
Yes.
Bars, restaurants, even a couple of coffee shops, but it's a city full of life, day and night.
Lilia, tell me, tango is one of the first things people think when they think about Buenos Aires. What that tango means to the city, and what is today tango in Buenos Aires?
Tango is part of a culture. It's part of Argentinian culture, and it is a culture in itself. You could decide when you come to Buenos Aires to go to one of the Sunday markets, artisan markets in Buenos Aires, and you might see a couple dancing tango on the street. You could go to Boca also and see people dancing in the streets. And again, you could choose one of the tango houses where you can have a good meal and also enjoy one of the best tango shows, not only in the country, but maybe in the world. The best for me are the ones that still keep the old spirit of the tango houses, of the first tango houses. And we are very lucky to have some of those tango houses in Argentina still today. And we're talking about 2025, And another thing we have is people that adore dancing tango. They all have the chance to go to a disco where they will be able to dance tango or to listen to tango for, at least until 4 a.m. in the morning. These are people that go, especially, they put on their shoes, their tango shoes, and they go to dance tango, and maybe they are 75, 80. You will see 30-year-olds, 18-year-olds. They all want to practice tango. And at these discos, maybe you will see that they are not the fanciest of the discos in the world, but it's a very nice place where people dance tango and enjoy it. What surprises me the most is when I see a woman in her 70s and a man in her 40s, and he's trying to absorb all her knowledge about the dance. That really gets me emotional. And I could stare, at them for maybe half an hour, and I will be fascinated by that. More and more tourists want to go to places like that. And usually they try first a tango house to see professional dancers, which is also a very nice thing to watch. Very nice. And it also, it stirs your emotions also. Even if maybe you're not Argentinian, but you will notice that the music, as you are saying, the looks, how they look at each other, the dancers, the lyrics. If you understand Spanish, we will talk about the lyrics if you don't understand English. And when we talk about these tango houses, you will see that, these professional dancers are incredible. People get really fascinated by them and how they perform on stage. They are professional dancers and performers. They are really amazing. And at the same time, after they see that, usually they ask, where can I go to some kind of a disco to watch that? I've heard there is a place where people dance at the evening or during the night. Yes, these places exist. They are fascinating. They are amazing.
Yes, it's more like where the locals go, right?
Yes.
You call it a milonga. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yes, you have the tango houses that are amazing. The music, the costumes, the show is like
incredible.
It's an experience everyone has to do once.
Yes,
once in a lifetime when they come to Buenos Aires, because it's something unique.
It is.
The dresses and how they stand up and it's a very nice show, right? That's a show. But then
that's a show.
Yes, but then we have the milongas that, it's more like the local scene. They will see really important there. Is what they do during their weekend, right? Or during the week.
I would like to mention that maybe you're going there on a Wednesday night, and more tourists will go to those places. Maybe they will only sit and have a glass of wine or a beer, and watch them dance, fascinated. And some of those people try to dance with the locals. And you will see that sometimes, you have some dancers that approach the tables where people are sitting, and they ask, would you like to dance with me? And tourists really are
open to that.
Open to that. And that's great. Absolutely great.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah. And what about art in the city? Buenos Aires it's a city of museums, of street art. What are those places that you say, if you come to Buenos Aires, you have to go to this, if you love art or not, or if you are not like an art fan, but you think you still need to see this in Buenos Aires? Which are those places you recommend?
First of all, I would definitely recommend the Museum of Fine Arts, which is a small museum when you compare it to other museums of the world, but still, it has such powerful art in it. From the most important Argentinian classical artists to Van Gogh and Renoir and Degas. You could find you can find the best of art in Argentina in the First National Museum or Museum of Fine Arts. But if you like modern art, you could also go to our private collection called Malva, the Metropolitan Museum of Latin American Art. Or you could also go to the Latin American Public Museum, the most important Latin American modern art museum that we have in Argentina. And again, if you go around Buenos Aires, you will see a lot of art everywhere. From our cemetery, and you would say a cemetery? Yes, it's a cemetery that is considered by many the biggest art collection in the open outdoors in our country, which is amazing.
And it's unique. I have traveled a lot or to many places, but I haven't seen anywhere something like that. I think it's unique, right? It's very special.
Yes, definitely is. And I have an anecdote, a small story about that. We had a group of tourists, that were studying art, and they wanted to spend an afternoon at the cemetery drawing and painting. I remember being there for 6 or more hours, going from one of our tourists from the other, asking, "Are you fine? I mean,
what were they painting? They were called painting.
They came from the United States, and they all, the professor. I remember the professor came with them to Argentina, and they all had their little chair, and they chose one of those mausoleums that we have in the cemetery in Buenos Aires, and they started drawing, and after that they had to paint it. This was like an assignment, a piece of work, that was commended to them by the professor.
Yes, and the main things, where is the cemetery, right? It's in the middle of Recoleta neighborhood, their neighborhood, very fancy neighborhood.
Yes, and it is full of stories, full of beautiful and
the most traditional, the most traditional families of Buenos Aires, as they are placed there, like
still today.
Still today, something it's still happening, right?
Yes.
And also famous people from our history are there. So it's, yes, I think I agree with you. It's something really unique of the city.
Definitely unique. And if you like art, that's one of the places to go to.
Yes.
And then, of course, the murals. The murals in the city are beautiful. Of course, when your guide is taking you around the city, she will or he will point out the best murals at the city. You will see, murals about soccer, murals about the horse races, murals about tango, murals about women. It's a beautiful, beautiful city in terms of street art also. Not only classical art in a museum. It's also very powerful when we talk about street art.
Yes, love that. Yeah. Well, if we want to take a traveler to feel the art of the city, right? Not just maybe in a classical way, but where would you take them to feel the art we have here in the city?
I would divide it maybe in 2 ways. One of them is I would take them to Palermo to see the street art, to see the beautiful murals, to see the colors in there. And also, there are a lot of designers and artists that have showrooms in Palermo. If we want to maybe take a look at modern art or at avant-garde art, that would be a place that I would take them to. And at the same time, if we want some history, the Museum of Argentinian History is a lesser known or less known place.
Where is that
to go
museum?
to? It is in San Telmo.
Okay, amazing.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful museum.
Let's talk about you and your experience with the city. Is there something from your childhood that you have lived here in the city that it's part of how you show the city to our travelers?
Look, when I was a child, I belonged to a family with many, many brothers and sisters. My mom used to take us or bring us to downtown a couple of times a year, not many times. It was more difficult to organize the 7 of us, 7 brothers and sisters, So when my mom would bring us to the Opera House or to downtown, she would be constantly pointing out places and telling us the story about it. I think I fell in love with those moments, and that was a big influence in my life. And I think one of the reasons why I decided to be a guide. I remember also when I was a little bit more than a teenager, a lot of members of our family started coming to Argentina to visit Argentina. I mean, our relatives that live in Europe. So usually I was the one to take them around town. And that's how it started. Little by little, it started like that. I mean, taking our family, our loved ones around the city and showing the best, and also maybe not the best, but the things that we still love, even if they are not perfect, you know? Yes. And that's how I guide today also. I will show you the best, always the best of Argentina, the best of Buenos Aires, but I will also show you some of our flaws. But because, you know, they make
part of the city too, right?
Yes, but because they make us unique also. They are part of our culture. Should we improve things? Yes, sure. But it happens all around the world. But it's part of the reality of Argentina and of our culture. And that's what I like also about my job.
It's authentic what you do, right? It's very authentic.
Well, I think so too. I think so.
And Lilia, from the beginning, when you started working as a guide and showing, like I like to call it a local host, because we're not just a guide showing the city.
Yeah,
like what you do with the travelers is much more than that, right? I like to call it a local host, because you host them as they were from your family. We are really lucky to have you with us, and we're doing that kind of work, because it's very different to guide and to show it like a host as you do it. How do you see that the city has evolved? I mean, politically, historically, and how the city has changed in this? I don't know how many years have been working as 20 years, I think, or more.
Yes, more than 20 years.
And how the city has evolved, and how we have changed the way you show the city to the travelers.
I think in the last decades, Buenos Aires has become more of a cosmopolitan city, more of an organized city. But I can also say that for the rest of the provinces, the rest of the states of Argentina, the rest of our massively touristic cities, they are more prepared to welcome the tourists. They are more organized. Of course, that the informatics and computers and social media, everything has helped Argentina to be more known to the world. And not only Argentina, but many cities of Argentina that were hidden gems, as you call them. You know, all of that has helped Argentina to be more known to the world. I mean, in our way to work, we try to show all of those hidden gems too. Again, I think that it has evolved in a very beautiful and also natural way. When you talk to other guides in other cities or other operators in other cities, you can see that they still defend the local. They want to preserve their natural beauties and their natural treasures, we would say. And at the same time, yes, they are more prepared and modernized, I would say, to welcome the tourists in the best possible way.
That's really the city now. It's like it's more prepared and it's welcoming tourists every day.
Yes, without losing their essence, you know.
Yeah, without losing the essence. And yes, and I think what I see is we are trying to show Buenos Aires more authentically too, right?
Yeah.
Not in that touristic point of view, right?
Yeah,
and tourists living the city like the porteños, and this is what they receive when they go to a closed door restaurant or to a chef, and the chef opens their kitchen to show them how they make their food, and it's like they make them part of the experience.
Absolutely, yes.
But maybe you're in a local restaurant, right? And they are cooking they're helping the chef cook for that restaurant, and I think this authentic experience are something new in Buenos Aires in the last years that many people are doing, right?
Yes. These closed-door restaurants that you're mentioning, they have become, something so loved not only by the tourists, but also by Argentinians. And not only them, you also have these kind of restaurants where you will not have a printed menu. You will not have an online menu. Why? Because the chef will present you with a blackboard where you will find, what he cooked for you today with the freshest things that he found at the market. That, I think, it's priceless.
And is there something that still surprised you of the city? What do you say? Whoa, this is something new. Whoa, this is something that I didn't expect was here. What happened? Oh, is there the city that still surprises you?
It is a city that still surprises me. I would say so, yes. I confirm that. And you know what? I mean, the latest thing I would say was there is a place that you know well. This is it's a very prestigious building, a French language school, Alianza Francesa. This building was, it was allowed only to the students to enter the building, or maybe in some special events you could enter the building. Nowadays, I mean, it's not a little palace, it's a mansion, that holds the school since 1924, has opened the cupola, the dome area, which used to be the winter garden of a family called Castex family at the end of the 1800s. Now it's a coffee shop. I mean,
wow.
Yes.
But I have to go there, but I don't know that coffee shop. You have to take me there.
Oh, yes. It is a surprise for me that they opened this for the public. And you can enjoy what was the winter garden of that family that we all can enjoy.
That's awesome.
The best croissants, coffee, and enjoy a part of the city that, only a year ago was not allowed for visitors.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. That's really nice. Yes, like Buenos Aires has these special places. You just start walking and then say, well, what is this new? And they're opening new places like with this kind of, I don't know, history behind, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's not just a coffee shop. It's with a history behind. It's like, whoa. We have the famous library.
Yes.
Ateneo, that's
our surprise.
It's a surprise. But yes, you're not going to a book library. You are going to a place that will have a story behind that. And
it will wow you.
Yes, and you will enter there and say, wow. And this is in the middle of the city, right? In the middle of the Recoleta. And there are many places you discover this way, right?
Definitely, yes.
With a story behind that I think makes a place special, right? What the story of what was it before it's a book shop or was a coffee shop? I think it's amazing.
These little hidden corners of Buenos Aires. I mean, when you talk about evolving, I would say that's related to evolving. I mean, it's a city that's changing constantly, and at the same time, these are maybe old places so well preserved. They are gems that were not open to the public, and now they are. It's a surprise, and at the same time, I mean, any visitor can go there and enjoy it.
Yeah, so lovely.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
And both. I'm sure you will.
One of the things that I like most about what we do and about what you do together with us, is creating meaningful moments for our travelers, right? Is there, from the years we have worked together, any memory or any special moment you remember you created or we created together, or you created for a traveler here in Buenos Aires, as we are talking about Buenos Aires?
I remember, and there are a couple of very special moments. One of them was, remember when Argentina won the soccer cup, the soccer worldwide championship?
Yes, of course.
We had a couple traveling for a honeymoon, coming to Argentina, coming to Buenos Aires. They were from the US. Yeah. And of course, the US culture is not so related to soccer as they are to American football. But in those days, Buenos Aires and Argentina were all about the soccer championship. It was crazy. And one of them asked me, where do you think we can go to really feel the vibe, to really, try to enjoy this moment and try to learn how Argentinians behave, in moments like this. And I said, you know what? There will be a gigantic screen at this park in Palermo, and I think everyone will go there for the final. It was the pre-final, the final quarters, I think it was. The final quarters match. And I said, be there 4:00, don't go there later, because you will not find a single space, to stand there, And they did it. What they did was they bought a couple of Argentinian shirts. They went there and waited for the match to start. And they were so compenetrated with that. With the ambiance that was formed at that park. And so many, it was thousands of Argentinians around those gigantic screens that I think they sent me this video from the moment that the Argentina scored for the first time, and you can see them hugging unknown people, strangers, totally strangers, and they were so happy. And they sent me, I remember, a taped message saying, "We never went through something like this. It is so good, so good." It was a great, absolutely great moment, because at the same time I was jumping at home and they were jumping at home, and then they were filming each other. Selfies with strangers, total strangers, but really enjoying and celebrating that moment that for Argentinians was a summum. It was one of
they were lucky to be here.
Yes, they were.
That moment, right? Because yes, it was really unique.
Yes,
for everyone here in the city. I imagine for someone from the US seeing what was something amazing. Yes, the city was full of people walking on the city everywhere, and they were going to the Obelisco and
celebrating all of them. Even if they were not Argentinians, they felt a little bit Argentinians, and they celebrated together with us, and it was great. That happens. That's part also of Argentinian culture. We are celebrated together. I don't know you, but I will hug you.
That's amazing.
And other memories, I would say, the couple that, I remember when he wanted to propose to her during the trip. Remember that one? Yes. Or the couple that was celebrating, decades together, and they were an elder couple, and they took their time, but they visited all of Buenos Aires, and they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. People from, all around the world, but I think we created together a lot of unforgettable memories.
Yes. It's amazing to be part of that.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
To be part of that.
Amazing to be part. Because they let us be part, right?
Definitely, yes.
It's something we really enjoy. Thank you. It's amazing. I will ask you a last question for this interview. I would stay with you talking about Buenos Aires, right? But I know we have a time.
Yes, I understand that, because I would feel saying that.
Yes. If someone is planning to come to South America, South America, it's huge, right?
Yes.
And maybe they're coming from New York, or maybe they're coming from Sydney, far away. What would you say about why they have to choose Buenos Aires, and why you suggest that include Buenos Aires? I know it's a very common point to start a trip, but not everyone is choosing Buenos Aires, and maybe they're choosing Santiago, or maybe they're choosing Rio de Janeiro. If they want to come to South America, what would you say about Buenos Aires? Why they have to come?
Maybe I would go back to Argentina. Is a very unique place. Buenos Aires is a very unique place. It's a country of 1,000 different landscapes, from forests to pampas, from a salt desert to snowy peaks, and the capital of trekking in Argentina, as I mentioned before. From the waterfalls to the glaciers, Argentina is a very special country that we all love. And Buenos Aires, in Buenos Aires, you will feel a little bit at home if you're from Europe. In Buenos Aires, you will find the most beautiful architecture, full of, daughters, sons, and grandchildren of immigrants from all around the world that helped shape this Argentinian culture that smells like good coffee, a good homey food, a hug, and also chorizos and tango passion, a good place, a good bar where to sit and watch how life passes in front of you in the nicest of ways.
That's amazing.
Sorry, I got passionate.
Yes, you can say it better, Buenos Aires, right? Thank you. Yeah, it was amazing talking with you and sharing with you these stories about Buenos Aires. And if they come to Buenos Aires, they will meet you. If they travel with us, they will meet you. You'll be hosting them. So
That's also a very important part of the experience, I know.
Thank you.
And because we love having you as a host here in Buenos Aires. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you loved this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast and share it with a fellow traveler or, why not, an entrepreneur. You can find us at across-southamerica.com and on Instagram at Across South America. And if you're dreaming of your own handcrafted journey, reach out. We'd love to help. Gracias and see you soon. Nos vemos pronto. And let's keep the stories going.